The restless spirit of the haunted hotel. The old Ravencroft Hotel had been abandoned for decades, standing as a silent sentinel at the edge of town. Locals claimed the place was cursed, haunted by the spirit of a bride who had met a tragic end on her wedding night. Her story was whispered among townsfolk, warning anyone foolish enough to enter her domain. Cassie, a thrill seeker with a love for the paranormal, dismissed these tales as mere folklore. On a dare from her friends, she decided to spend the night in the hotel, armed with only a flashlight and a camera. The air was thick with the smell of mildew as she pushed open the grand double doors. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, illuminating the once majestic lobby. The chandelier above swayed gently, though there was no breeze. "It's just an old building," Cassie muttered to herself, trying to mask her unease. She wandered through the crumbling halls, taking pictures of the eerie surroundings. Faded wallpaper, broken furniture, and shattered mirrors told the story of a place long forgotten. Yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. In the distance, she heard a faint sound. Soft, mournful humming. It was coming from the grand ballroom. Her pulse quickened, but curiosity drove her forward. The ballroom was a shadow of its former glory. Moonlight streamed through the cracked windows, casting ghostly patterns on the floor. In the center of the room stood a figure, her back to Cassie. The woman wore a tattered wedding gown, its once pristine fabric now yellowed and torn. Her veil covered her face, and her hands clutched a bouquet of wilted roses. The humming stopped abruptly, and the figure turned slowly to face Cassie. Cassie froze. The bride's face was pale, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. Her lips twisted into a haunting smile. "Why have you come?" the bride asked, her voice echoing unnaturally. I just wanted to see the hotel," Cassie stammered, backing away. The bride took a step closer, her movements unnaturally smooth. "This is my home," she said, her voice growing colder. "I wait here, for him." Cassie's flashlight flickered and went out, plunging the room into darkness. Panic surged through her as she fumbled to turn it back on. When the beam finally returned, the bride was inches from her face. "Stay with me," the spirit whispered, reaching out a cold, translucent hand. Cassie screamed and bolted for the door, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The walls seemed to close in on her, and the once clear path to the exit became a maze. The mournful humming followed her, growing louder and more distorted. Finally, she burst through the front doors, gasping for air. Turning back, she saw the bride standing in the window of the lobby, her hollow eyes fixed on Cassie. The humming faded, replaced by the faint sound of laughter. Cassie never spoke of that night again, but locals noticed that the lights in the Ravencroft Hotel sometimes flickered to life, and on quiet nights, passers-by swore they could hear soft humming drifting from the ballroom, a restless spirit still waiting for the groom who would never return.